Hello, my name is Tim Marshall. This is my LEAD 6163 Module 1 assignment presentation. And the presentation is focused on, as a leader, what is my role in enhancing diversity and how can I facilitate a culture of support. So I'll start off as a leader. Typically, new leaders look for things that have been successful in other organizations, and old leaders combine that with things through their experiences that they have found to be successful. So whether you're new or an old leader, the one thing you should be looking to provide to those that follow you is a consistent profile of what they can expect to find from you. So, leadership, if nothing else, is something that the followers need to be comfortable with following. They can be comfortable with a negative leader. It's not highly suggested that this be done because they will probably start looking for either another leader or another place to go. But consistent leadership profiles with regards to how somebody leads, whether it's servant leadership or benevolent dictator, there has to be some sort of expectation from the staff as to how a leader will act and react. So from a leadership perspective, this is for all topics, not just diversity, but the leader should be thinking of themselves as a leader and how other people see them. Then, for an organization to maintain some sort of relative stature and competitiveness, diversity must be part and parcel of the discussion at the organization. The reasons for being are that our staff are coming from all over the world, regional staff, national staff, global staff. The larger an organization is, the more students that are affected by the organization or attend the organization, the more culturally diverse, racially diverse, socially, economic diverse that group becomes. So for you to be successful, for an organization to be successful serving those students, the organization itself also must have some level of diversity that reflects their student environment. Oku states that one of the keys for organizations to continue their existence in the changing world is to show awareness and respect to the diversity among employees and regard this diversity as richness. This has been borne out in many other studies. Through our discussion, this sort of topic was raised over and over again, that we need to do this to maintain success within our organization. It's a practice that must be followed. So, what does that mean from the leader themselves? What is my actions? What are the people that I follow? What do I expect of them? Well, the first thing is part and parcel. Again, support enhanced diversity. It's the nature of an organization to take advantage of all the participants, and to do that, you have to be willing and open and able to address all participants and support all participants. The leader must also provide performance and success audits of the current organization with regards to diversity. So there just can't be discussions. There has to be hard investigations, interrogations of the environment to make sure that you're meeting stated goals, or you're looking at the employee breakdown with regards to the diversity segmentations, and that you publish how you are doing to the audience that you're leading. These things should not be left up to chance, and the reporting of them should not be left up to a chance. So a good leader is willing to discuss it, support it, enhance it, but also provide analysis and statistics on the success of the audit, success of the organization. In our world, things don't stay static. So what might be a great leadership practice today, a great leadership program today, might not be the best one tomorrow, or even if it's good, it could be improved. And the only way to do this is to support researching peer organizations, the organizations that do the same things that you do, or maybe just a little bit different, and also look for literature for how successful programs are engaging in a diversity environment. My next slide will talk about what I feel is, in some states and in some areas, required mandatory training. And as a leader, what is my role in mandatory training? Well, by referencing this as a mandatory training environment, it creates a culture of accountability regarding diversity initiatives. Mandatory training, no one can escape the discussion. No one can escape how the organization wishes to present itself with regards to diversity. So this culture of accountability, no one will be able to say that I through my ignorance, I did not know that was something we had to talk about. This also ensures that leadership and staff recognize benefits through consistent messaging. The ability to reference training, materials and content, it's a starting point for many people that might be uncomfortable talking about diversity. It's a starting point for leadership to engage the conversation, either through talking about training or actually participating in training. And the leadership role is not only for us to attend the training that is required for ourselves, but to also attend sessions where our staff can see our participation, engage us in the process. And does it mean that we might have to go through multiple sessions of the same exact training? That's probably what it requires, but it also means that it shows the entire organization, the leaders' passion for this particular topic. And participatory leadership of this nature can lead to transformational leadership. And what I'm talking about that is when staff have the opportunity to go through exercises with their leadership on a regular and consistent basis. When the leadership comes to them with something that might be uncomfortable, they already have the ability to recognize in their leader some of the sameness that they have seen in themselves because they've been through similar exercises and conversations. So when a leader, whether it's leading transformational diversity issues or anything else within the organization, the participation in this training with multiple levels of staff can also lead to a future in better transformation. So Sears and Eng talk about this in 2011, and they noted that transformational leaders motivate followers by appealing to higher ideals and moral values, and diversity training can be placed in that environment. They define and articulate a vision for the firm, and they inspire followers to carry it out. And it's not just through discussions, it's also through participation. So how can I facilitate a culture of support? How do we do this besides mandatory training? There's other ways of embedding diversity within an organization, and one of those ways is to make diversity part of the vision and mission statement of the organization. A Google search can be found. The organization I work for currently, Tarrant County College District, diversity is part of our mission and vision statement. It's when it's that simple. Vision and mission statements are created to be simple. You're embedding the discussion already when anybody asks someone, "What's your institution's vision and mission?" Kemp Graham notes that principals make issues of race and class, gender, disability, sexual orientation, and other historically and currently marginalized conditions in the U.S. central to their advocacy, leadership practice, and vision. This is part of what organizations should be striving for, so much so that it should be part of their vision and mission statement. Beyond that, having that nice short vision and mission statement, diversity should be and must be part of the strategic plan, where you take that vision and mission statement, create strategic objectives, and from those strategic objectives you'll create tactical, qualitative and quantitative planning objectives to satisfy that. So diversity should be found in the strategic plan, whether that's a method to ensure that diversity training is embedded or that diversity measurement is embedded. It should be part of the strategic plan. You should, as I said, create strategic and operational performance objectives and indicators. So not only do you create and embed it in the plan, but specific objectives and indicators should be followed and reported on. And by doing so, Good organizations reflect back on their strategic plan and report back on the objectives. This becomes, again, another topic of ongoing discussion and reference, maintaining that diversity is in the forefront of the institution. And last but not least, hiring managers and supervisors, you can make diversity a part of that employee's population evaluation. So how does this done? You can ensure diversity through the interview process, that when managers and supervisors have to hire and fill a position, they should be able to note that they've either recruited or accepted for interviews members of diverse populations. Doesn't mean you force people to hire, but it does mean that you take advantage of the systems and the policies and procedures you have in place to make sure that diversity is part of the interview process. And hiring managers, that's where the rubber meets the road. So here are my references that I've used for this particular presentation, and thank you. I'm enjoying the class so far.